Alright, this next one is from a smaller seller, and they don't have like a web presence or anything like that. They're just using their name, so I don't know if they want their name in a video, so I'm not going to mention them. Yeah. Generally, if someone doesn't have like a business page or where they're obviously trying to promote from their personal page, I don't want to call them out and have them get publicity they don't want. Alright, let's see what we got here. There should be 3 different ones in here. Alright, PDX Sunset. Is this? Do I have those cups? Nope. Other set of cups. Okay, now with the right set of cups. We have a Hollyhill PDX Sunset. I think that probably looks good. Maybe. A little bit bumpy up there. Sometimes that's just the new leaves coming, but this is why we pre-sprout them, you know? I always pre-sprout them after last year. That was crazy. Never doing that again, so hopefully all is well. This is Jennie, and they did warn me that this one had a shovel cut, so I knew about that going into it, which this one is hard to come by this year, so I was fine with the shovel cut. And then I was warned that this one was little also. Hollyhill Funhouse, but otherwise that looks good. So, just gonna bring this guy up a little closer, see if I can get those bumps in focus. So, yeah, that's them. I don't know, sometimes that's when I'll watch, but sometimes, like 2 days later, those are obviously just leaves. So yeah, keep things separate. When in doubt, wait it out. Don't let it contaminate your other stuff. Don't share water, all that fun stuff. Alright, I'm gonna put dirt in these. Alright, this one is the Crazy for Dahlias order. I was supposed to be... The main point of my order was to get Tarantula, but that got cancelled. Unfortunately, that is often how it works out, so... Yeah. And I'm out of big cups, so I've got these little cups that maybe aren't going to work out, so we'll see. Alright, so tag says Minute, but it was supposed to be Minuet, and I'm sure it's Minuet. I don't think there is a Hollyhill Minute. So, there's that. It's not going to fit in the cup I have for it, though, so I'm going to set it to the side for a moment. And maybe I can switch Carefree's cup. Alright, then we got Hollyhill Angela. Which looks fine. Not too happy about still being in the bag, but that's okay. I'm going to just put this one probably into a pot. Crazy for Dahlias has been around for a long time. I'm less concerned about bringing home gall from them, so these might just go into a pot. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to switch a tag for Hollyhill Carefree, and that will probably let me fit one of the other ones into the bigger cup. So here's Hollyhill Carefree. I see that, hold on, let me get it in focus. That little root that's growing under the sprout. I don't know if that's coming into focus or not. Maybe. Yeah, so sometimes you can... Sometimes those little bumps, that's that other one we looked at earlier, where it's like, this is kind of suspicious. Sometimes that's the beginning of these little roots growing. And those are what will be tubers later, so you do want those. So sometimes you just have to wait and see, because sometimes those little bumps are just the beginning of these little guys. So hopefully that's the case for the other ones. Alright, let me pause and pot these up. Alright, these ones I'm not going to pot up. I ran out of cups that were the right size, so I'm just going to show each of these and we'll go from there. This is Dane Flower Farm. First one here is Ashpire Fancy. So far this feels promising, so let's see. It looks like cedar shavings, maybe? Just going to dump half of them off so I can get it out without damaging it. I'm not that coordinated. I can feel there's like a little sprout in there. Yep. Didn't want to break that off, so that looks fine. Looks like maybe it's grown in a constrained container. Maybe he grows in pots. This is what mine look like when I pull them out of pots. A little, like, weirdly bumpy from being stuck in a small thing. But that looks good, I think. Now, obviously I can't. They are not labeled on the tuber, so I have to make sure they stay with their bag. It looks like it came with a pack of free zinnia seeds, which are always fun. Sorry, I'm just checking my order slip here, seeing if they know any cancellations or whatever, so I can adjust the expectations. Let's see. I believe it shows 5 coming in, and that's what I expect, so hopefully that's the case. Alright, Hollyhill Mischief. Something you aren't seeing on camera either is that between each seller, I go ahead and wash my hands, because I don't want to repeat it last year. Basically, I ended up with something like 6 leafy gall and 20 crown gall. And I only started with 150 tubers. And most of those weren't from Walmart. Those were mostly small sellers. So there was some suggestion maybe it was the dirt I brought in, because I grew everything in pots. So maybe it was the dirt. Or maybe I didn't buy from great sellers. I don't know. But either way, kind of pre-sprouting everything this year for obvious reasons. Cut end, but that's normal. That happens all the time when you're digging them. I've got a few like that myself. So there's a little extra eye on top of this one, but there's good separation, so that's probably okay. Jack-o'-lantern. At least it's been a day where most of them have been sprouted, so that's been pretty good. I think everything was either sprouted or had a very obvious eye, so. And nothing was squishy. So this one's little, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Yeah. Some of them just make little tubers. I have like a whole bag full of, shoot, which one is it? RM Baby Girl was pretty small tubers for me this year. Got like 16 of them, but they're tiny. But pretty much all of them sprouted though. I don't know what I'm going to do with that many, but I also don't dare sell them since I had so much crown gall. So we'll see, fingers crossed, for a much better year this year. A little twofer here. It's funny when they cross behind each other like that. Like, how do you even divide that? You don't. You keep them together. So that's good. Sprouted. I always kind of wonder why some of them sprout first and root second. Some of them root first and sprout second. Like, you think there's got to be a reason they do that. In that order, like what prompts it, but I don't know what. Yeah, this one too looks, or maybe rocky soil. So some of my topsoil that I got this year came with, last year that I got last year, came with quite a few rocks in it. Like I took several 5-gallon buckets of rocks out of 5 yards of soil. And then I left the little ones because like there were so many rocks that I needed them as part of my soil. And so I have some like this from growing around a rock. So guessing this person probably has some rocks in their field too. Because that's what mine look like when they've grown around a rock. I think that's all I was expecting, and that's what's in there, so that's good. So overall, mostly good, and probably even the ones I thought were iffy are probably fine. I'm just extra cautious because of my dig last fall, which wasn't any fun. So pretty much good. Only one I have to reach out to is that Randevu Ranch to ask about the mislabel and who is who and where the other two are and who the unlabeled one is. So I don't know. Though maybe I need to read the terms better because it did have a listing of the varieties that came in the set, but maybe there's some fine print about it having some substitutions in it, so that could be the case. So I'll read that first and then see if they at least know who that one is, because if I could at least match up that one and whether Rosa is another Rosalynn or something else entirely, and then I'll have the one mystery. And I don't know. I don't always plant the mystery tubers I get for free simply because I have limited space. I'm planting in raised beds. So if I've got a spot for it, I'll plant it. If I don't have a spot for it, I won't. But still, I prefer that to like a bunch of, stickers and other oddball things you get in these days. All right, that's all for today.